Lindenwood News. International students at Lindenwood University share their thoughts on ice raids.
Then, 2 Lindenwood Lions compete in the 2026 Winter Olympics.
And we will talk about a recent study found to help teens with sleep and exercise.
Those stories and more coming up on Lindenwood News.
Hello and welcome to Lindenwood News. I'm Nicole Schaefer.
And I'm Kay Copeland. International students make up a vibrant part of campus life at Lindenwood, but reports of immigrations and custom enforcement activity in surrounding areas are raising new concerns. Nationally, ICE has come under scrutiny following the death of 2 American citizens in Minneapolis, concerns over detainee conditions, and growing public outcry. As Congress debates potential policy changes amid a partial government shutdown, international students say uncertainty at the federal level can feel personal. One student, who wishes to remain anonymous, stated, "I think the situation looks very serious in the news, but the university doesn't want to reflect that fear onto us. I see a certain confidence that makes us feel safe because at the end of the day, we are human beings and students." Another student stated, "I would say stay informed, but don't panic. Talk to the international office, make sure your paperwork is updated, and connect with other international students. Being in community really helps." While ICE activity remains a federal issue, international students say its presence influences how they feel, not only in the country, but on campus.
Lindenwood women's Division I ice hockey players Lucy Corto and Elena Ziliaks are competing on Team France at the 2026 Winter Olympic Games in Milano Cortina, Italy. I spoke with 2 of their teammates, Celia Gunderson and Paige Klein, about Lucy and Elena.
Pretty quiet, but when you get to know them in the locker room, they're actually spread so much energy. They're so much fun. They make all of us laugh. They just make the locker room more loud and fun. And
I feel we laugh a lot, we talk a lot, and getting to know them has been an absolute pleasure. But they bring the energy in the locker room. Lucy is hilarious in the things she says. She always has a funny comment. And on the ice, they both, obviously, they're D partners, so they work off each other, rely on each other, and just having them on the ice, it's really good to have.
Lucy Corto is a senior who plays defense, having attained 5 points this year, 2 goals and 3 assists. Elena, a sophomore, also plays defense and has had 2 assists last season. Previously, Lindenwood has had 1 Olympian, Nicole Hensley, the goaltender, who competed for Team USA in the 2018 and 2022 Olympic Games. There is no doubt, with those 2 ladies having made it to such an important event, the only way for them is up.
A Missouri House bill calls for students K through 12 to be required to participate in at least 60 minutes of physical activity each school day. Some Missouri lawmakers are pushing to double the amount of daily physical activity required for students. The bill passed out of a House committee Wednesday. Supporters say it could improve academic performance and student behavior, while others worry about how it fits into the school day.
We'll understand that kids are moving less throughout their days than maybe they have in decades past. We know that technology has affected that. We're interested in prioritizing physical activity amongst our young people.
Davidson says up to 10 minutes of physical activity could count toward academic instructional time. This bill requires all students to participate in moderate physical activity for a minimum of 60 minutes per day, including at least one 20-minute recess period. The bill also includes special conditions for students with disabilities.
This week in national news, Florida state health authorities are providing free measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines to people living in some communities in the southwest part of the state. This comes after a measles outbreak at Ave Maria University. The school reports it has had 57 cases linked to the campus, and 7 students are currently in quarantine. Health officials report 46 measles cases in the surrounding area, Collier County, from the start of the year until last week. The local fire department is helping out with the vaccination effort.
It's no secret, sleep and exercise both play a huge role in being healthy. For teens, both can aid growth, brain development, and good mental health. And a new study finds there's a close link between the two about how adequate sleep can help teens move more. Kayla Johnson with the University of Minnesota School of Public Health is lead author of the research, which found that sleep is the foundation of physical activity. And if a teen can get sufficient sleep, it will likely help them to move more. 8 to 10 hours of sleep each day is recommended for teens ages 13 to 18 to help them get adequate sleep. Johnson says we need to stop fighting teen body clocks, as going to bed before 10 or 11 p.m. is extremely difficult for teens. They're now studying whether changing school start times can help teens get more sleep.
Searchers in Michigan have located the wreckage of a steamer that sank more than 150 years ago. 80-year-old Paul Ehorn discovered the Lac La Belle in Lake Michigan back in 2022 after spending 65 years looking for it. But the scuba diver just announced his discovery. He says a clue from fellow wreck hunter and author Ross Richardson led him to the location. Richardson said a commercial fisherman found an item that appeared to come from a steamship from the 1800s. When the ship sank in 1872, all but 8 of the 53 people aboard the luxury steamer made it to safety. The Lac La Belle was one of 10,000 undiscovered shipwrecks in the Great Lakes.
A SpaceX capsule in partnership with NASA took 4 astronauts to the International Space Station Friday morning. The agency had to forego 2 possible launch windows on Wednesday and Thursday over unfavorable weather along the rocket's flight path, but had a successful launch from NASA's Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, bringing the orbiting laboratory back to full staff after a month of operating with the skeleton crew. They were well below the 7-person staff the space agency desires, with only 3 people on board since mid-January. Astronauts successfully docked at the International Space Station, where they will be researching technology for deep space exploration.
That's it for this edition of Lindenwood News.
Thanks for joining us.